Good evening. I would like to greet to Dr. Muhammad Azmi and my fellow classmates. I'm Chong Changi from matrix number S29957 from Bachelor of Science Bioindustry. This evening, I would like to present my planting project, DIY planting project for course AFS 2001. The title I choose for my planting project is Baby Bok Choy Plantation. Let's come to introduction. Baby bok choy is a type of cabbage under the species of Brassica rapa, and the variety is Chenensis. So, baby bok choy outlook with a bulb-like base consisting of cluster stems connected to oval flat leaves. It has an average height of 10 to 12 centimeters for a matured baby bok choy. The baby bok choy is native from China since 5th century after that. It is an early harvested, compact vegetable, so it gives much tender and sweeter compared to its mature counterparts. Besides that, in nutritional value, baby bok choy is excellent source for vitamin A, C, and K. It also contains antioxidant beta-carotenes. Besides of this, bok choy contains of glucinolates, which reported as a compound that able to prevent cancer in small doses. So bok choy is believed to help improve digestion, detox, and lubricate the intestines. Why I would like to choose baby bok choy as my plantation crops, because baby bok choy require a short plantation period. For a baby bok choy to grow until matured needs 4 to 6 weeks only. Therefore, it's suitable for our plantation project, which took 7 weeks only. Besides of this, baby bok choy is known as extremely growth vegetables. Hence, it is suitable for the plantation beginner, such as me, to succeed. The objective of doing this DIY plantation project is first, I have to learn a complete plantation of baby bok choy for pre-planting to post-harvest practices. The secondly is I could study the way to overcome challenges during plantation. Lastly, I can apply the methods of crop plantation and observe the effect of those techniques and equipment which I learned from the classes. Now we come to methodology of plantation. First, we are looking into pre-planting. What I'm doing in pre-planting, at first, I research before plantation. I do research on the type of crop to plant. And then finally, I choose baby bok choy as a crop. After this, I search for the plantation method of baby bok choy, consider with my current situation in house. So after this, I look into the soil requirement for this baby bok choy and fertilizer needed. Other than this, I also search for the climates and the maturity period of this baby bok choy. With all the knowledge of baby bok choy, this will ease the work during the plantation and increase the success of plantation. Secondly, in pre-planting, after research for plantation, I do prepare for planting. So I equip the equipments and materials that are needed, which is used in plantation work. These are the basic equipment and materials that I use during my plantation. First is the seedling tray. The use of these seedling trays is to ensure that better nutrients available for each seed and eliminates the need of multiple plantings. So the seedling trays I use is 106 holes. After this, I also use seedling soil. Seedling soil contains high nutrients, which give a better supply for the seedling to grow. And I bought this baby bok choy seeds from my auntie, who is a farmer. And then this seedling cost me about 1 ringgit and 20 cents only. Fourthly, the plantation needed is the fertilizer. I use the fertilizer that left in my house, so it doesn't cost any. Lastly, I bought a 70% sunshade net for the seedling nursery and the seedling to grow, because this 70% sunshade net could reduce the excessive exposure of sunlight on the seedling. Next, we come to planting. During planting, this is the few things I did. First is nursery, second is transplanting, third is irrigation, fourth is weeding, and also I did observation. Let's look into nursery. In nursery, I filled the seedling tray with the seedling soil, about 8 per 10 full. Next, I sowed 3 seedlings each in one hole with about 1 centimeter depth. Next, I moist the soil, the seedling soil with water, and I irrigate it once daily. So the germination of seed is observed and recorded. After 2 weeks or 3 weeks, between 10 to 14 days. After 2 weeks, since the seedling is growth mature enough, I'm considering to transplant it to field to ensure that there is sufficient sunlight and nutrients supplied for the crops to grow. Besides that, field plantation give a wider plantation area which avoid the competition between the crops, and this will ensure that our crops grow healthily. So the planting distance of the baby bok choy in field is 25 cm times 38 cm. At first, before transplanting, the preparation for field plantation is done by setting out, form out the soil bed, besides max drain. Lastly, loosen the soil. And after transplanting the seedling in the soil bed, I covered the soil bed with the sunshade net. During the irrigation, it depends on the weather. When there's heavy rains whole day, I won't irrigate the crops. However, when the weather is hot, I will water the crops daily, once daily. Thirdly, comes to weeding. The weed starts to grow during fourth week of plantation. So, due to this, there is only a few weeds content on the soil bed. So I just remove the weeds by using hands to reduce the uses of using herbicides, and it's more environmental friendly. Lastly, I do observation every day and every week to see. Most of the observation was done on the leaf of the crops and the stem. Next, we comes to post planting. After the 6th week, my crops is ready to be harvested. Then the optimum harvest time is early in the morning, because in the morning the temperature is cold, and avoid this vegetable to be rotten due to high temperature. When the vegetable is harvested, the crops is harvested, I store it in a fridge to extend the shelf life. After that, I clean out the plantation site for the next plantation. Now we come to result and discussion. The first 2 weeks, we can observe the seeds germinate after the 4th day, and most germinated seeds will grow 1 to 3 cm tall after 12 days. There are some problems in these 2 weeks because there's some seeds does not germinate, and then also due to the climate, there are heavy rains causes some seedling was destroyed. So to overcome this, the solution I did is for those abnormal seedlings were removed, all ungerminated seed was removed and replaced with new germinated seed. Why those seed was ungerminated? I conclude as a few reasons. First is that the depth of the seed soil and also the quality of the seed. Maybe I sowed too deep the seeds in the soil. This caused it unable to germinate. But or there are some rotten seeds germinated, so it's rotten seed is unable to germinate. And besides that, due to heavy rains, so the seedling tray is moved under the roof when night and rain, and it took under the sun when the weather is good to obtain sunlight. However, these seedlings will be covered with the sunshade net. In the second 2 weeks, which is the 5th to 28th June, so the leaf of the crops grows bigger and green. However, the height of the crop increased a little in 2 weeks, and there are some crops also die. So why the problem is that the growth of the crops was inhibited after 20th day, so the height and the size of leaf are the same for a week. The solution is that after consult some elder farmers, they say that the sunshade should be removed and some fertilizer could be applied because the sunshade had blocked the sunlight for the crops to undergo photosynthesis to grow. And also the crops is mature enough to withstand for the heavy sunlight. So therefore, the sunshade is removed and some fertilizer is applied to supply more nutrients for the plant growth. The last 2 weeks is third 2 weeks. We observe that the leaf grows taller and bigger, and then but also some weeks are grow on the soil bed, and some hole was observed from the leaf. The problem is that one is the weeding, second is the pest. However, due to organic farming, the weeds and the leaf hole is very less. So I try to avoid using any pesticides and herbicides. However, I'm considering to apply this planting cover, which is white in color, to avoid pests to attack to the crops. So during this whole plantation, the benefits and the personal gains from me is that I learned a lot of planting technique from the elders. And then while consulting these elders, they share their experience, which is treasure and which is precious for me. And other than that, while doing the plantation personally, I felt the tiredness and the tough of being a farmer. This made me to more treasure all the plantation workers who supply all the food to us. Lastly, I trained to be a responsible person to take care on my crops and trying to identify the health of crops based on the color of the leaf. In conclusion, baby bok choy is really extremely easy and fast growth vegetables. And due to the lack of experience and weather, I do face some problem. First, I made the problems of weather, followed by the wrong application of apparatus, which is the sunshade, which inhibit the growth of plant. After that is the pest and disease problem. So this is the most common problem which will be met during normal crop plantation. So with this experience, I can further or to advance my plantation techniques, which aid me to increase the success of plantations in the further future. However, all of this was overcome by applying knowledge and inquiry to others. So I was glad that in such pandemic situation, I could produce my own vegetables. Meanwhile, could exchange my knowledge with the other farmers. Lastly, here I wish Malaysia agriculture sector could be flourished in the future. So that's all from me. This is the reference